Hallo, guten Tag. Hier bin ich wieder, Banda. Heute möchte ich über den Bundesrat sprechen. Oder welcher Unterschied gibt zwischen dem Bundestag und dem Bundesrat. Der Bundesrat ist ein Teil der Legislativgewalt der Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Die Bundesrepublik Deutschland ist auch eine Bundesstaat oder föderalistischer Staat. Deswegen gibt es zwei Teile der legislativen Gewalt, nämlich der Bundestag und der Bundesrat. Also der Bundesrat vertritt die Interessen der einzelnen Bundesländer. Und der Bundestag wird für alle Bürger, die 18 Jahre alt sind, gewählt. Also der Bundestag wird von ganz Deutschland Männer und Frauen, die 18 Jahre alt sind, bestimmt. Und der Bundesrat ist ganz anders gewählt. Lass uns gucken, wie der Bundesrat bestimmt oder gewählt ist. Also mit dem Bundesrat, die Mitglieder des Bundesrats wird von allen Bundesländern bestellt nach der Landtagwahl. Und nochmal, Deutschland ist eine Bundesstaat, wie ich gesagt habe. Also die politische Macht soll verteilt und Missbrauch soll vermeiden werden. Also mit dem Bundestag, die sind wie eine Checks and Balances. Also in Politik oder in der Regierung oder in der Regierung, es gibt ein Prinzip und dieses Prinzip heißt Checks and Balances. Checks and Balances ist so eine Gewalt oder eine Organe von der Regierung sollte die anderen Organe prüfen. Okay? So dass keiner von denen die Macht missbraucht. Sehr, sehr wichtig. So we are talking about the Bundesrat. The Bundesrat is part of the German legislative organ. And also Germany is a federal republic. As a federal republic, the powers are supposed to be shared between the central government and then the component or the state government. So Germany has 16 states. So for example, we have Brandenburg, we have Berlin, we have Bayern, we have Bremen, we have Hessen, we have Hamburg, we have Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, we have NRW, that is the North Rhine-Westphalia, we have Niedersachsen, we have the Sachsen, we have Sachsen-Anhalt, we have Saarland, we also have the Schleswig-Holstein, we also have the Thüringen. So in all, we have 16 states in Germany. So periodically, these 16 states elect people in the various states, and then each state will have to elect or select people based on the population in the state to represent them in the Bundesrat. So the Bundesrat, they represent the interests of the various states. So that is the difference between the Bundesrat and then the Bundestag. For the Bundesrat is like under the Bundestag, but they are supposed to also, when the Bundestag makes certain laws that are, for example, if you like, you can call that are somehow not in line with the constitution, or such laws seem not to be good enough, the Bundesrat have the privilege to look at these laws, and if they find them not to be in line with the constitution and also not good, they can also protest or reject those laws. So it's kind of checks and balances. So somehow, some kind of two legislative bodies. So that is bicameral legislature. We have types of legislature. We have bicameral legislature and we have the unicameral legislature. So Germany has the two chambers who are all part of the legislative organ. So that is the issue. And in the Bundestag, people who are qualified to elect the people in the various states, the age qualification is not the same. For example, I live in NRV. So in NRV, for example, if you're 16 years and above, you are qualified to elect your representative in the Landtag. But whereas the Bundestag, you have to be 18 years and above. So that is the difference. So we have to take note of that. Like I said, the Bundestag, for them, they represent the interests of the various states. But the Bundestag also represents the interests of the entire citizens or people in Germany. And the Bundestag, they represent the will of the German people. And I also said, Germany is also a Bundesstaat, that is, it's a federal state. So in federal state, powers are supposed to be shared between the central government and the component government in order to do away with abuse of power. Now, I also said something about the Bundesrat again, and I said that the Bundesrat is supposed to take influence of the lawmaking relationship, so they have interest and they have influence. And also, the Bundesrat is like the Verwaltung des Bundes, so it's like the administration of the state. Die Mitglieder der Bundesrat werden von den Landesregierung bestellt. So all the various state governments will have to represent people, to represent them in the Bundesrat. So that is the concept. And I also said that now the various states have in the Bundestag a representative between 3 and 5. So based on the number of people. And then I also realized that NRV has 6 representatives because NRV has almost 18 million population. So the various, for example, in Bremen has 3 representatives. So based on the population of each constituency, so you have to look at the population and know how many people are supposed to be represented in the Bundesrat. That's the end of today's lesson. I try to combine German with English because I know my viewers are also interested. It's not everybody who will be able to understand everything that I say in German. So that is why I try to combine in today's video both English and German, because there are people who want to understand everything in total. They want to understand everything in detail. So thank you so much for your time, or thank you for watching my video, and I'm also ready to do more videos to help people who are like me, or people who do not have the privilege to sit in the German class or to be in the orienteering course. So this is my little way that I want to help my fellow foreigners. Okay, but for me, I see myself as a resident, not as a foreigner. I'm saying so because if you live in a country, you're supposed to contribute to the development of the country. If you do that, then you can't claim or you can't be proud to say you are part of the country. So let us contribute to the development and the survival of this country. Because some people build this country, and that is why it is attractive. Everybody wants to have his peace of mind and then live here. So please let us all contribute as residents, and probably residents and not foreigners. We should not, because if you see yourself as a foreigner, that means that you are not trying to be part of this country. But I say let us be resident, not foreigners. Thank you so much, and bye bye.